How's it going, everybody? This is Omega Nikon with the Gaming VUE, and it's been a week since E3 started. We've seen all the games, we've had some things to ponder, and we thought it'd be a good idea to go back through over each press conference. So in the next series of videos, we're going to examine each press conference, starting with EA, and we're going to talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly, because there was definitely some ugly. So here we go. And we have myself, we have Juan, aka the Nauj, aka the Red Thunder Cheese. Juan, are you there?
Stunned.
Oh, I'm supposed to say something? I didn't know.
Now you do.
I don't know. What can you say after being called the Red Thunder Cheese?
What's up, guys?
He's the cheese.
Sorry, I had to laugh.
Jonathan, aka Shotgun, aka Antisocial, aka Filter. Hashtag Filter.
Yes, that's me.
Hashtag suspension doesn't start till next week.
And then we have as a guest appearance from Mateo, aka the Excuse, host of the Proper Blokes Podcast run by the P.R.I.S.M network, joining us this week.
Hello. Shalom.
Good to have you.
Shalom.
Matt.
I think it's high in Hebrew.
All right, so we're going to start with EA. We're going to talk about the good, what we liked that was good about EA press conference, what the bad was, and what the ugly is, because there's always some ugly, especially with EA. So first things first, I think we should go through each of the games that they announced. They announced some pretty exciting titles, interesting titles. They announced some big duds. And then we'll talk about the overall press conference, which seems pretty standard. Every year, EA is about the same as far as their presentations and everything like that. So starting us off, it's already been released. We already have had a trailer for it. It looks pretty exciting. There's a lot of controversy about it right now because there's a woman, God forbid, and it's Battlefield 5. So what are some things that you guys liked about the Battlefield 5 release, the trailer, and what they talked about at the press conference?
I only saw the beginning intro. I didn't really see much of it, but the graphics for one look amazing. The new game mode, I think there's a new game mode. Is it Grand Operations? Or is that brand new? No.
So there's several,
I think, is that the Battle Royale mode?
Well, they added, they're going to have Operations, which is like the four-player co-op horde mode, basically. And then Royale is what they call it, but it sounds like Royale is going to be team-based too. Hopefully that's what it sounds like, because squad-based combat in Battlefield is the best. Then it's going to have single-player and then your standard multiplayer models. So the trailer looked good. Who knows if that's actual gameplay or not? You can never really tell. I mean, it looks good.
Well, I don't know. DICE with their graphics are pretty usually on point.
Yeah,
right?
That's true.
I mean, when they show the game, their games do tend to look like that.
I mean, I assume this game's going to look fantastic. I don't know how much better than Battlefield 1 it's going to look, but it's still going to look fantastic either way. The things I like that were most important is that they're changing the pay models of Battlefield. So we've been playing Battlefield forever, and we've been paying the premium pass forever too, which is another $60. If you're unfamiliar with Battlefield, you pay $60 for the game, then you pay $60 for the premium pass to give you all the DLC that they release. That is no longer the case, which is going to be interesting how they're going to fund this game throughout its cycle. And then no loot boxes, which I think they only introduced loot boxes in Battlefield 1. I think Battlefield 1 was the first time. Sorry, Jonathan, but I think Battlefield 1 was the first time you could actually spend money on them. So since they're not doing those things and they're adding customization, I'm assuming all the customization is going to be behind some sort of paywall. That's what I think is going to happen. I think you're going to have to pay for all that stuff, or you earn it quite slowly, and if you want to speed it up, you can pay real money for it. I don't imagine them getting rid of. I don't imagine them.
They said that most of the stuff that's going to be microtransactions is customizable
Cosmetic,
stuff.
Cosmetic.
Yeah,
things.
Cosmetics. There's no loot boxes that you can pay for. Everything's earned through leveling up. Okay. So that should be just a pro.
I think you have to be excited for this game. I mean, since Battlefield 1942 came out like 2001, there's been I could be completely wrong. I haven't played every single Battlefield game, but there's only been 2 games that have kind of been like fans haven't been super excited about. I'd say Battlefield 2146 and Hardline.
Yeah. What is your guys' stance on the inclusion of women as much as it is in this game?
I'm gonna be brutally honest.
Yeah.
I'm getting tired of it being shoved down my throat.
Now I agree with that.
That's getting edited.
No, I agree with that. I don't care.
Like,
go ahead.
Everything's turning into that. It's just getting ridiculous now. It's
right. When it seems like they're forcing it, then it becomes distasteful when they're forcing it. If they just had I don't care if they just added a woman character in the squad. That's fine. I didn't care about when Battlefront 2 was doing it, and it's more annoying that it's being the attention of it is so brought up because people get offended by it. But yeah, I agree with you.
That's what I don't like. I personally don't care that they add a girl. I don't care that it's being highlighted as far as like, oh, you see, we have a woman in there. It's like, it should not be a big deal. Like, for instance, IGN today, they had this big article about Marvel Cinematic Universe hires the first woman composer. That's not a story.
Exactly.
I'm sorry, it's not a story. There's been women composers in Hollywood forever. The fact that there's a woman in this video game is not a big deal. Like, the fact that you make it a big deal is not cool. Like, it shouldn't be a real story. It's just not a story. It's a character.
Exactly.
There you go. Let's move on.
All right, so that's
I don't mind. Like,
the
more they want to add a woman, who cares? More power to them. I don't really care. That's good for them. But I just
telling me that you're
hate
highlighting that you're having a woman character, like, that's like, okay, now you're just being a SJW, a social justice worker.
Yeah, you're making something out of nothing.
Correct. Exactly.
All right, moving on. All right, EA's biggest game out of all of their games is probably FIFA. It's the most sold game they have.
Is.
It's the world's. It's the largest sport in the world. Everyone watches it. So FIFA 19 was announced. Of course, they release it every year.
No. That's what I was gonna say. It comes out every single year. They only change a couple things.
So Matt is the FIFA pro. So he's gonna lay it out.
Ever since I've been.
You can actually see the sweat on his legs. Okay, that's good.
Not true.
If you could see the calf muscles, that'd be good.
I've been playing FIFA hardcore since 2010, and I've had every FIFA since. I've had FIFA 10, 11, all the way through 18. This one, I haven't been excited for this game since
when they introduced the women.
I think FIFA 6. No. It might have been that one. No, because they had the World Cup. It might have been FIFA 16 because they added the women with the World Cup tournament, but they also had. That was the first year they did like the Euros as like a DLC instead of like a separate game. Mm-hmm. So it was like, oh, there you go. Stop making me spend extra money for something that should be a free DLC. And like FIFA 18 did that with the World Cup update. And like, it's good for them to do that. It's just like a second update right before the tournament starts. If you think about it, it's great for marketing. How do we sell this game over again? But this one with the Champions League, this is the most prestigious tournament in the world. The best players on the best teams in Europe. The presentation of it, it's going to be fantastic. People have been dying for Pro Evolution Soccer to not have the license anymore because Pro Evolution Soccer literally only has like the Champions League. FIFA has contract. They have the top 4 leagues just in England. They have leagues across all the world. This was the one thing they were missing. And when they get the Champions League, they're also they didn't just get the Champions League license. They got the UEFA license, so they can do the Europa League. This is going to be the best FIFA probably in a long time.
I think those sports games would have more of an impact and more of a wider audience if they would just take a break.
Like not release them every year?
Yeah.
So I would agree with you. Like I look at Madden, right? And ever since they got the NFL license exclusively, Madden games have kind of coasted.
Right.
And I sporadically play them, and it's not like it's the same game, and it doesn't feel different. It's not exciting. FIFA makes little changes that change the gameplay every single year.
FIFA is EA's highlight. It's their baby, and it's the highlight of the conference.
Yeah, we might not be so hardcore like Mateo and half the other world, but it's a big game for EA for a lot of people.
You talked about Madden, so we don't need to go there because who could care? To me that was like the low point of the press conference when they had that kid come out with this stupid belt. Like I don't care. Who are you?
There you go. We're out here chasing money.
All right, what'd you think about the indie titles they showed, like Unravel 2 and Sea of Solitude?
Interesting, fresh.
I thought those were two highlights of the conference. Their indie games, Unravel looked like a fantastic game. I know you played it, Jonathan. It seemed like a really good story, like it was going to be a good but sad story. And in part 2, looks like they just improved everything. They added co-op to it. It's already out. They released it right after the press conference. I love when they do things like that. So that'll be a good. The Sea of Solitude game. Did you guys see that trailer?
Yeah, that looks pretty interesting.
I saw a little bit. I thought it was Sea of Thieves when I first saw that. I just saw like a little split second.
But that one, I love games like that is just done by a small company and looks fantastic. Like it's original artwork and it's telling us, a story. It may be like a 3-4 hour game, but it's going to be a good game, like Limbo,
Right.
Yeah, I look forward to
those
indie games.
They're not full price games either, so
yeah,
exactly.
I look forward to them because they're cheaper and there's these indie games. They tend to try harder since they need to prove something. They're good as far like compared to big game companies where they take us for granted and you give us like 2 or 3 hour game and put everything else behind the paywall. I feel like
Destiny 2.
indie games Yeah.
Hey, can we
thought
talk
it'd be
about
more-
something that you put on here, Matt? Can we talk about a game that you put absolute worst of the show? And
That's where I was going to
as
next.
somebody who has been playing this franchise since I was like 9.
Yeah.
Since I was 9, I remember I've been playing this game. That was horrible.
You,
A phone.
you like
this
those?
game has been reduced to a phone franchise.
To a mobile game, Command and Conquer. Anyway, so they announced Command and Conquer. They're bringing Command and Conquer back, and where are they bringing it back to? Your iPhone X.
So they can microtransaction you to death.
To death. To absolute death. And the worst part about that is that the way they even introduced it was so stupid and cringy. It's just as bad. And you know it's going to be full of stupid microtransactions. Oh, would you like to speed up the construction of this missile? Pay $1.99.
It's just the continued slow death of the real-time strategy genre.
Yes. All right. Let's cover a big highlight. I think
Yes.
we're all kind of excited, like cautiously excited for this game, Anthem. Everyone's talking about it.
Well, you know I am. BioWare's my people.
I'm sold on it. My biggest fear is if it's another Destiny killer.
Well, if it's another Destiny killer, that's a good thing.
It'd be good.
Because there hasn't been a Destiny killer.
Good thing, but I'm to say it's another Destiny, like
Type
very
game.
similar, but I think it's similar. It also in the longevity. I just don't think it's gonna be enough stuff to do.
In
That's
Destiny
my
or
biggest
in
fear.
Anthem?
An Anthem.
An Anthem.
So
we already
it's
know
funny that
Destiny's
you bring
not enough
that.
to do.
If it's funny that you bring that up, because I was talking with one of my friends, and he always asks about games like that, like Destiny. And one of the things I thought about, people who make like Destiny, which is Bungie, and The Division, those are people who make shooters. They make shooting type games. Those games tend to be anywhere from like 15 to 20 hour campaigns, and you're kind of noticing that with their RPGs. It's like a 15-hour RPG. It's like, this isn't a shooter. One of the things that BioWare has always been doing is making games that are at least 40-hour campaigns, if not 100 hours, going back to like Baldur's Gate days. Like, they know how to stuff a game with quests. I have no concerns about Anthem. My concern always with BioWare is their controls, and they've really kind of perfected that with Mass Effect.
Now, that's what I was going to ask you, though.
Andromeda.
Are you even a little bit worried because of what happened with Andromeda?
No, the game that came out was not what they wanted to make, but they fixed it with patch after patch after patch, and it's really good now. I'm not concerned at all with Anthem. I think this game is going to be amazing. Their controls, they've really tightened it up. It's just, I'm super excited for this game.
Okay. Well,
Yeah, he brings out a good point. I forgot BioWare is making it, and I know they know how to make games
Like
that
RPG type,
last.
yeah.
So I'm kind of more calm that BioWare is not some shooter game
well, that's
making it.
my
So if it's
biggest
BioWare,
worries.
I'm relieved.
My biggest worries about it is the same things like longevity, gameplay diversity. What I mean by that is I hope it's not a bunch of go here, kill this guy, come back, go here, collect this thing, bring it back, go here, kill this guy, come back. Like, I want to see some diversity in the missions.
I'm on the fence about it, honestly. So the gameplay that they show, like Angry Joe, he played it, so he knows what it is. He's gonna make a video about it. So that's the only way I'm gonna find out more about the game than what they did in the conference, because somebody else.
And to be honest, though,
sucks.
the version Angry Joe's playing is, it's probably full of all the best things of the game too. So we really won't know. And I've always said this is my thing with EA. You can't trust anything EA says. We can obviously, this is all speculation. We can only go off when the game finally comes out. The one thing I did like about EA's press conference, we're going to talk about the press conference in general now. At least they do come out and talk about the game after they announce it. I like when they do that in press conferences. I hate when they just show a little snippet of something and then they move on, like just gloss over it.
You mean like half the other press conferences?
Yeah, like actually the majority of the other press
We'll touch up
conferences.
soon.
But I thought the indie titles they showed were good. At least they acknowledged some of the garbage that they pulled last year, especially the guy from DICE, who I felt so bad for because it looked like he drew the short straw and had to go on stage and apologize for Battlefront 2
And take the hit for EA's crap.
and take the hit for EA's
Yeah, because you know
publishing.
that's not DICE on general.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The worst part of the press conference was that impromptu interview with the Respawn developer over the new Star Wars game. Like, I don't think he knew that she was coming over to ask him questions. You don't know with EA. It's like they keep saying we want to make good games and we want to bring your players back home. It's like, okay, well, start delivering on your promises. Don't say we're taking away Premium Pass for Battlefield, we're taking away loot boxes, and then have almost every cosmetic in the game be behind a paywall. So.
Yeah.
Overall, in the EA press conference, what are you guys most excited for coming out of EA?
I'll say Anthem, but
I'm double excited for Anthem and FIFA.
my top two are Anthem and Battlefield 5.
And you want just Battlefield?
It's Battlefield because I need to see more of Anthem before anything else because I've seen gameplay of Battlefield. It seems promising. It seems like it's more squad based than Battlefield 1.
I'm excited for Battlefield 5. I'm cautiously excited for Anthem. I have to keep reminding myself that it's BioWare and not Bungie, and you know.
Yeah, I mean, BioWare in the last 10 years, or in the last 18 years, the only dud they had was Andromeda, and that was at launch. That's because that game had development issues, and they still kind of sort of fixed it.
For EA's press conference, was it? I don't know. For me, it was run of the mill. I didn't, you know, I predicted they were going to play it safe, and they felt like they kind of did play it safe. You know, the main guys pushing more subscriptions and stuff like that. Whatever, they changed their EA Origin access.
Yeah, I didn't like that, by the way. That was kind of weird on their part. Just I didn't see, there was no diversity really. It was just, hey, it's the same games we always do, and it's just a new BioWare franchise, and there you go. I mean, it wasn't awful. It was all right.
That should be the tagline. EA's press conference wasn't awful. It was all right. We want to thank you guys for hanging out with us in this video covering EA's press conference. The next press conference we're going to do is Microsoft, and then Bethesda after that, following in suit with the others. So stay tuned for the next video. Again, thank you guys for subscribing. Thank you guys for watching. We're in review to get our partnership back with YouTube, which is huge for us. So thank you so much. And until then, we'll see you later.